Hey y'all, this is Travell Richardson, and this is the Be Ready anthem, y'all. I hope y'all ready. Stay ready, be ready, 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 stay ready. Every show, new face, new dream. Young man out here building a team from the track to the court to the turf and the rings. They all grown different, but they got the same theme. Putting in works when the lights not on. Late night, early morning, still going strong. They don't do it for the lights, they do it for the fight. Future looking bright, cause they training for their life. So be ready, stay ready, 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 be ready, stay ready. Spotlight on them, time to show love. Rather smart than dream, all star from above. The hustle in their heart, purpose in their feet, and they voice on this mic that echoes in the streets. Every episode, no cap, no fake. Just young bugs grinding, rising to the stage. Different faces, same goals. Rise above the pressure, yeah, holding goals. So be ready, stay ready, 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 be ready, stay ready. So put your hands together for my boys, Coach Tony and Carlos, for the Be Ready podcast coming on right now. Let's get it, let's go, y'all.
We are live and in color. Welcome, guys, to episode 87 of the Be Ready Sports podcast, y'all. Thank you guys for supporting episode 87. Wow, Landon, episode 87. I remember when our episode was at episode 1. A lot of changes since throughout all our progress. A lot of changes with this show. Episode 87, and we're only going up from here. So in order for us to keep on going up, please make sure the audience like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That is where our podcast is right now, live on YouTube. We're live on YouTube. You can like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon so that you get notified of when we go live. Also, should be scrolling down the ticker right now at Be Ready Sports Podcast. That is our Instagram. You guys can follow our Instagram at Be Ready Sports Podcast. That is where we post sports news, podcast clips, anything related with the podcast or any sports news in general. That's where we will post live on the Instagram, on Be Ready Sports Podcast Instagram. All right, without further ado, this is a Friday night here on the Be Ready Sports Podcast, and we got a very good guest tonight. Very unique athlete. Probably the first athlete to do this sport, and I think so. Yeah, I think our first athlete to do this sport. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Tonight's guest is a 12-year-old wrestler. That's the sport I was talking about, guys. Wrestler from the state of Georgia. He has been wrestling for a total of 6 years, but this year he feels that he has showed that he is a formidable competitor. He has achieved significant success in the sport, including a third-place finish at preseason nationals, where he defeated a top-ranked opponent in sudden death overtime. Tonight, he will tell us more about his success. So now, please welcome to the Be Ready Sport Podcast, episode 87, Landon Walker. Landon, welcome to the podcast.
Hello.
All right, Landon, so give a little icebreaker about yourself to the audience.
My name's Landon Walker. I'm a 2-time Georgia State champion. Multiple-time All-American, and my goal right now currently is to be top 3 in the nation.
Top 3?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, setting high goals, setting high goals. I don't know, Landon, if you can see the comments on the stage. It's one of our big upgrades, by the way. I don't know if you can see the comment on, by the Little Learning Farm 622. Uh, they give you a little compliment. Nice curls.
Thanks.
Hey, me and your are and our hairs are very similar because my hair is actually curly because mine's is natural. It's not perm. It's not a perm. So and are your curls perm or natural?
Natural.
Natural. Same here. Yep. Shout out to my mom with the curls. Shout out to her. Shout out to her. Okay. All right. So let's get right into it, shall we, Landon? All right. So let's get right into these sports topics to get you warmed up into the podcast episode. So first, we're gonna All right. So tonight we're gonna talk about some wrestling. Tonight we're gonna talk about some wrestling tonight. No basketball, no football. We're not gonna talk about those sports tonight. Um, but we're gonna talk about some wrestling and a little bit of boxing. All right. So let's start with this one first with WWE. John Cena, who is probably the greatest of all time, people say, in the WWE world. The GOAT. Um, he is a champion and he will fight for one last time next weekend on Saturday, December 13th. That is 8 days from now, live on Saturday night's main event. This will be John Cena's final matchup. The event will be taking place. The event will be at 8 Eastern, live on Peacock. So, Landon, so what are your thoughts on this? John Cena, the greatest of all time, been wrestling for years, like even before when I was born, back in 2007, like he fought before that. So, but he's great. He's the greatest of all time in the WWE space. So, what are your thoughts at his final fight this weekend? Oh, next weekend.
I mean, it's crazy that it's his last fight, but I never really kept up with WWE like that.
Hmm.
But I still can't believe that's his last fight is in 8 days. It's pretty surprising.
Yeah, crazy, but Landon, people get old. People get old. The athleticism starts to go down. And then obviously they start thinking of retirement. And obviously, John Cena has thought about retirement, and now he'll be fighting next weekend as his final fight over there in Washington D.C. at the nation's capital. That'll be next weekend. John Cena. Okay, wait, hold on. Landon, you see that comment right there by Danny Williams?
John Cena versus Landon Walker.
No, no, I don't think Landon's old enough. Plus, it's John Cena's final match, so Landon's not one or what? Yeah, I don't think Landon you can fight John Cena because by the time you get older, John Cena's gonna be like old. He's gonna be like elder. He's gonna be like
Well,
elder old.
I could take him.
You could, if the money's right, if the money's right, you give him, I don't know, probably $100 million. He'll probably come back. He'll probably come back in the ring, to fight you. If the bag's right, the money's right, the match can happen. The, that's the name of the game, money. If you pay the right people, things happen. So John Cena's final fight on Saturday night's main event. Next weekend, Saturday, December 13th, it will be on Saturday night, live from Washington, D.C., live streaming on Peacock. That'll be on Peacock from Washington, D.C. All right, so let's move on here to some boxing here. Teofimo Lopez taking on Shakur Stevenson. I found this on the Zone. Boxing. So this will go down on January 31st. As you can see there, January 31st, Landon, of 2026. So this will happen next year. This will be for the WBO super lightweight title. So basically, Landon, these two are in the lightweight division of boxing. So and these two are very good fighters in the super lightweight division, and they're going at it for a title in New York City. So Landon, so what are your thoughts on two very good boxers going up against each other for essentially a title, to win a title? The winner is going to get the title. So what are your thoughts on that?
Um, well, I don't really keep up with boxing either. Mostly just Olympic wrestling, but uh, hope it's a good fight. I might watch it.
You might, hey, yeah, so it's on I don't know if it's pay-per-view or if it's just normal, but it will be on, I believe, the Zone, exclusively on the Zone. It will be on the Zone, a worldwide app that acts as, MMA, as wrestling too. It does some soccer as well. So the Zone is like the premier, how do you say it? The premier app for like sports like boxing, like wrestling, like for you, wrestling. Sometimes soccer I see on the Zone. So the Zone is the real thing, and the Zone, has hosted a bunch of great fights throughout the years, and hopefully this one will live up to the hype. Teofimo Lopez taking on Shakur Stevenson, two very good fighters in the super lightweight division, going at it for the WBO title, January 31st, 2026, live from New York. Live from New York. All right, so now let's talk about a little bit more boxing. Terrence Crawford. All right, so Landon. All right, so Landon. I'm gonna explain it some more here. So Terrence Crawford, he's the greatest fighter right now in our generation. He's the greatest fighter in our generation. He's been winning. He had a big fight recently against Canelo, just dominated Canelo in that fight. Another great fighter, Canelo, who's not in his prime right now, but was in his prime back in the 2010s, But Terrence Crawford, he had a great performance against him and basically was the undisputed, I believe he was the undisputed middleweight champion of the world. He's the greatest fighter right now in our generation. But I was also on the Zone and I read this. Terrence Crawford was stripped of his WBC title. And I tried to get more research on this, but I don't know. Wait, hold on. Yeah, has been stripped of the WBC title. He won against Canelo with another fight between Hamza Shiraz versus Christian Mbelli, order for the vacant belt. So two fighters just going at it. Will go after the WBC belt. So Landon, so what are your thoughts on Terrence Crawford, who is the greatest fighter right now in our generation, in your generation right now? He got stripped of one of his undisputed titles. So basically, undisputed titles, Landon, is like you basically have all the titles. You basically have all the titles. So imagine in wrestling, you have all the medals basically, and then all of a sudden you get stripped of one of your important medals. Basically, is the same comparison here with Terrence Crawford of his titles. So what are your thoughts on that in terms of wrestling, basically?
Well, I think it's crazy. Like one of the best in the world was just stripped of his title like that. Unexpected, yeah.
Yeah, very unexpected. I just saw this and I was like, why? Like, I was wondering why, but things happen in boxing. Things happen in boxing, and this happened right now. So he was stripped of his WBC title, but he might get it back. I don't know, maybe. Terrence Crawford, the greatest fighter in our generation right now, Landon. So when you have time, try and look him up. I like search his highlights, against Canelo, and you will see why he's the greatest in our generation. All right, all right, all right. All right, so how about let's have some fun here, Landon. So I found this. So no facts necessary here. Okay. So by the way, Landon. So give a little backstory here. So which country will win a boxing World Cup? They're referring to the FIFA World Cup. By the way, they had their groups draw today. We're not going to talk about that today. We might talk about that on a later podcast. But they're talking about which country will win a boxing World Cup. So I'm gonna do this with your terms, Landon. So basically, I'm gonna do this in wrestling terms, all right? So, which country would win essentially a wrestling World Cup? Which country would it be? Like, which country produces like the best wrestlers?
Mm, Probably America.
The U.S. Why the U.S.?
We have some top-notch wrestlers out there. Sometimes win, like in Olympics.
Yeah, for sure. And a U.S. athlete that represents the U.S. is great. Obviously the U.S. would not put out some garbage into the Olympics. Obviously, any sport you represent the U.S., you're great at what you do. Whether that's wrestling, whether that's ping pong, whether that's basketball, whether that's all that, you have to be great at what you do essentially. Because if the U.S. if you're representing the U.S. out in the Olympics, you must be great. Like there's a standard of going out there to the Olympics and representing the US. Obviously, you got to be great at what you do. You can't just, fumble the bag over there in the Olympics. But all right, so you said the US would win the rest of the World Cup. All right, so yeah, so that's on the zone. So basically I was asking which country would win a boxing World Cup, and it shows different fighters. Yes, and there's many different fighters that from around the country, from around the world, from different countries that have great fighters. And I thought and it would be a little bit fun, to put that out. All right, so here's a little comment here from another boxing. Is our last boxing segment, Landon? Is our final one? Um, Alexander Usyk, another great heavyweight boxer in the boxing space. Alexander Usyk, he's a great fighter. He actually fought the guy on the left, Anthony Joshua, and beat him. Essentially, he beat him, and I believe that's how he won the undisputed titles, the same way how Terrence Crawford won his titles, but in a different weight class. So Usyk, he was basically asked on the AJ versus Jake Paul matchup, and he essentially, gave a little description of it, basically comparing AJ to Rolls Royce versus Jake Paul. Landon, do you know who Jake Paul is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So basically, he said that AJ is like the Rolls Royce. Landon, if you know about cars, Rolls Royce is
Yeah.
top of the class, obviously top of the class, compared to Jake Paul, Fiat. Out of all cars, the Fiat. Obviously, guys, if you guys know about cars or know a little bit about cars, Fiats, they're very small. And they're very small. Like Fiats, they only fit like what, one or two people in this mini car. Like it's crazy. So Landon, so what are your thoughts on, Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul's opponent, being called a Rolls Royce? Basically him having experience, him being the stronger fighter compared to Jake Paul as a Fiat.
Um, I think that's a correct statement.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? I want to hear why.
Like I'm not really a big fan of Jake Paul, and like he doesn't fight that well, if I'm being honest, or
Okay.
as well as some of them out there.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So, Landon, Jake Paul will be fighting on December 19th, guys. December 19th, and we will see if Jake Paul is truly a Fiat compared to AJ, the Rolls Royce. So we'll find that out. That's on December 19th, guys. That is in shoot. That's in, I believe, next week or 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today. 2 weeks from today on Friday night, live from Miami. It will be Anthony Joshua taking on Jake Paul. All right, last sports topic here. He definitely not that great. Who? Jake Paul or Anthony Joshua? All right. All right, so in the meantime, all right, so let's talk about this. So this is wrestling, by the way, Landon. This is wrestling. So I found so when I was oh, hold on. Landon, there's a question in the comment section. You want to answer that?
What is the most important thing that wrestling has taught you? Um, like stay humble always. Like even if you're like dominating a person, just stay humble about it. But that's about it. Uh, uh,
All right. All right, there you go. There's your answer to the question. Okay, so about Jake Paul, he's definitely not that great. Yeah, he's definitely not that great. He's definitely fighting his biggest fight yet against Anthony Joshua. He's fighting his biggest fight yet against Anthony Joshua, and what if he wins that fight? What if he win? And I'm not saying he's gonna win it, but there's chances, Landon. There's been upsets in everywhere in sports. There's been upsets, but obviously I'm going for Anthony Joshua. He's the more experienced, the stronger, the taller fighter, obviously compared to Jake Paul. But Jake Paul is definitely going to fight his biggest fight. So we'll see. Will Jake Paul crumble under the pressure, or will he rise to the occasion and maybe pull off the upset? We'll see in 2 weeks. All right, so now let's move on to wrestling. Here, so Landon, so do you know who that is right there in that picture?
Um, he looks familiar.
He does.
Yeah.
Do you remember his name or no?
No.
No, he goes by the name of Ben Askren.
Uh,
And by the way, speaking about Jake Paul, Ben Askren fought Jake Paul actually in the beginning. When Jake Paul was on his little come up, Jake Paul fought Ben Askren, who actually Tyron Woodley, another MMA fighter, suggested that he should fight Ben Askren, and basically we all know how that turned out. It ended up being a knockout. Jake Paul ended up winning that fight, and Ben Askren lost essentially and became a meme. But here he is. Breaking news about Ben Askren. I found this on Instagram about wrestling. So I'm gonna just read the comment. I'm gonna just read the caption that was on the picture on Instagram. So okay, before I say the caption, we love our fans. We love our people in the chat. Landon, there's a question in the chat. What car is you basically?
a
I think
Dodge. How can?
Danny Williams said a Dodge Hellcat. A Hellcat. Hmm.
Mm,
Okay.
something like that.
Like, why would you say you're a Hellcat? Why would you say that?
And like intense, aggressive.
Okay. Like,
It's like an intense car.
and are you taller or like short?
Mm, like on the shorter side, a little.
Okay, so that's probably why the Dodge Hellcat came there. Okay. All right. All right. It's a pretty good reason. All right. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna just read the caption here on this picture, and I'm gonna just give a little context. After Iowa's loss in the Cyhawk duel, wrestling legend Ben Askren took his thoughts to social media, criticizing their ability to develop athletes, their lack of offense, and their reliance on spending money through the transfer portal. Askren even offered to coach the University of Iowa's wrestling program with hopes of bringing back a once proud tradition of Iowa wrestling. So, Landon, so basically, so what are your thoughts on that? Ben Askren, kind of upset about his alma mater, Iowa, that they're not living up to the standards of Iowa wrestling, and now he's basically saying that he was offered to coach the wrestling program and bring it back to what it once was. So what are your thoughts on that, Landon?
I'm not mad at him. Iowa has had a pretty rough last few years. I think it would be interesting to see him coaching Iowa, though.
All right, all right. So, and do you think he's gonna make it better, or do you think it's gonna be the same if he coaches Iowa?
Um, make it better. Possibly stay the same.
Okay, so why possibly to stay the same in the okay, so why possibly stay the same?
Um, I mean, the current coach is still pretty good. He's on a high wrestling level. He has a high wrestling IQ, but so does he. So I thought like it could possibly stay the same or get better if he was the coach.
Okay. Okay, I can respect that. Okay. There's another question for you in the chat, Landon. You can read that. And then after that question, we're going to the
Wait,
Q&A section after this. So,
Neutral probably. I like single legs, and then on top, probably armbar. I like armbars.
Armbar, okay. A very popular move in wrestling, I heard. Armbar, I've heard of it. I'm not really an expert at wrestling, but I've heard about armbar in wrestling. I've heard of it. So definitely a popular move. Okay, so there's your answer. By the way, chat, if you guys want to ask Landon any questions during the Q&A, you may absolutely do so. You may do so. Any questions you got for Landon during this Q&A section, which is coming right up. Actually, we're done with the sports topics. Any questions that you want to ask? Obviously positive questions, not controversial questions, but any question that you got, ask Landon. You can ask him anything. All right, wrestling, what he does off the wrestling, anything. So, all right, so now let's get into the Q&A, Landon. So, all right, so first question, what inspired you to do wrestling?
Mm, well, actually, my parents, nothing really. I thought it was like WWE. I was 5, and my parents were like, "Hey, you want to do wrestling?" And I was like, "Sure," because I thought it was like WWE. But as I kept going on, I started to like it. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, Landon, but when I first heard about wrestling, I also thought it was WWE. But later down the line, I started realizing that there's another part of wrestling. Uh, do you know the difference between WWE and wrestling?
WWE is like more like slamming, but it's like fake as well. It's
Okay.
for entertainment purposes. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why during every intro they say, do not try this at home because obviously,
Yeah.
they work on it, they obviously, they try and make sure the wrestlers are safe. And obviously you got random people, in the trampolines trying to do AAs for doing stuff like doing dangerous stuff with the wrestlers doing the ring, and getting hurt essentially because they don't have the equipment like the WWE does that keeps the wrestler safe. Okay, so we have a couple questions here from the chat. So Landon, if you can see that first question, what advice would you give to new wrestlers? Interesting question.
Hmm. You know, keep training, try to find uh keep practicing new moves. Also be repetitive with old moves. Uh and just keep training hard.
All right, all right, all
That's
right.
about
All right,
it.
all right. All right, so Landon, so there's a second question in the chat right there, the last one, the last question by Danny Williams. You can, I don't know if you can see that.
What training are you doing to reach a new competitive level? Um, I do some like strength training at home, and then I also have a personal trainer for the gym. And then I have my wrestling practice.
Okay, okay. Shout out to chat. Hey, if you guys got more questions, keep on going. Keep on going with the questions. All right, Landon. So, what do you enjoy most about wrestling?
Um, Tournaments. I like live wrestling, like live matches.
Real, right? Not fake,
Yeah,
not WWE.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Okay. All right, all right. All right, so what do you like least about wrestling?
Mm, Losing. Well, I mean, everyone hates losing, and probably all sports.
Yeah, definitely all sports. When I ask that question, to basketball players, football players, they usually say the same question: losing. They hate losing. But in order to win, you gotta lose. It's not
Lose
losing.
some, yeah.
You learn. You learn from that loss, and then that's how you get the bigger prize. So yeah, everyone hates losing, but in order to win, you gotta lose. All right. So who is your biggest inspiration in wrestling?
Mm, Jesse Mendez.
Jesse Mendez. Okay, why him? Why Jesse Mendez?
I like his style of wrestling, and I'm a big fan of Ohio State, and he's one of the top wrestlers on the team.
Ohio State. Okay. Do you know if Ohio State has a good wrestling program?
Yeah, they did really good at their last tournament. They won it actually. They won their last like uh duel with the other colleges.
Oh wow, yeah, yeah, definitely Ohio State. Their athletic program all around has been great. The wrestling program I'm hearing, according to you, has been great. Their basketball's been doing great. They're like 8-1. They're doing pretty good in basketball. Football, I'm pretty sure all the football fans know how great Ohio State is in football. They're just dominating on every level. There's a question for you in the chat, Landon. So, um, what achievement are you most proud during your wrestling career so far?
Mm, mm, my placements at
Your
Tulsa
play.
Nationals, and Tulsa Kickoff Nationals.
All right, there you go. That's your answer to your question. All right, what keeps you motivated on tough days?
Um, hmm. Um, I just try to not think about it and keep pushing through. Um, mm, can't really think of anything that like motivates me.
It's all right, all right. So like for example, right? You got to wake up early, but you really don't want to do it. Things like that. Like what keeps you going? Like what makes you wake up in the morning, basically? What makes you want to go to this practice? What makes you want to go to this match? Like what makes you do all that, basically? Like what motivates you to get up, get out of bed, get into your wrestling fit, and go to these matches, basically?
Um, my goals. I remember my goals. Like I want to be top three in the nation, and I try to
Uh oh.
and get there and reach those goals.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Okay. Hey, and I like that answer.
Oh,
Okay.
hello.
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. Yeah,
These comments are funny.
they are his mom. Oh, hey, you gotta mention your mom, man. Landon, come on. What keeps you motivated? Come on now. And then discipline. Come on, Landon. You forgot to say your mom. Come on now. It's all right. It's all right. All right, Landon. So, what does wrestling mean to you personally?
Um, like I just think of it as like a sport that I like. I love like what I do to compete. Like
He spelled parents wrong. Okay, I don't know what that's about. Okay, um, what are your long-term goals as a wrestler?
um, well, currently top three in the nation, but then I have for high school, uh, 4 times state champ and possibly going to Ohio State.
Okay, so your long-term goal is to go to Ohio State as a wrestler.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, all right, all right. All right, so what's one lesson wrestling has taught you?
Mm, like just stay humble even when you wait. I think I got this question already. It was
Yeah,
like,
I know. Yeah, I believe someone in the chat kind of spoiled my question there. What's one lesson wrestling has taught you? Okay, for sure. Definitely being humble. Okay. So, what is your training slash practice schedule like during the week?
um, I have my personal trainer at the gym 5 days a week, and then I also have my wrestling practices 5 days a week.
Okay, so you're basically, so let's see, 5 days a week. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So that's what,
Y-
one, two.
Yeah,
So okay, so basically, and then I'm assuming on weekends you have like your matches, your tournaments, right?
yeah, sometimes, yeah.
All right, I got you. All right, all right. So, what do you do to mentally prepare for a match?
Um, Mostly prayers.
Prayers? Okay. Hey, for
Yeah.
sure. Amen. Okay, Danny Williams got a question for you in the chat.
Adding- Are you thinking of? No, I'm not thinking of adding martial arts to my skill set.
Okay. All right. All right, there's your answer to your question, Danny. All right. All right, so I've got a very good question for you, Landon. All right. It's a pretty unique question because you're a wrestler, and I usually ask this to my basketball players, like a pretty similar question, but since I'm asking you, it's gonna be very unique. So, if you have to wrestle in any arena or stadium around the country, around the U.S., it could be any stadium, any arena, you know, for one match, where would that be and why?
I don't know what the stadium's called. I do know it's in I think Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It's where they wrestle the NCAA championships,
Ooh.
for like college championships, like D1.
Okay. So let me search that up. So let me. Okay, so you said it's in Philadelphia.
Like, yeah.
Okay, and I see that the thing changed locations. By the way, in 2026, Landon, the thing's gonna be in Cleveland, Ohio, over there at the Rocket Arena.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's in 2026, and then okay, okay, I see it here. It's the Wells Fargo Center in Philadelphia. That, by the way, is the host of the Philadelphia 76ers and the Philadelphia Flyers, the NHL team and the NBA team. So, okay, the Wells Fargo Center. Okay, for sure, for sure. All right. So, what is your favorite wrestling memory so far?
Um, I last year when I placed fourth at Tulsa Nationals, it was like that's my favorite memory right now.
All right, all right, all right. So, there's another question in the chat. All right, the chat's active tonight. All right. It's another question for you, Landon, in the chat. Hmm.
Um,
Very good question.
Definitely, probably my mom.
Okay, why your mom over your dad?
Mm, she's like uh screaming more, like she's more intense, but she loses her voice in like 5 seconds.
Oh wow. Okay, shout out to her. Shout out to mom. Shout out to mom. Okay. All right. So besides wrestling, Landon, what other sport would you like to try and why?
Um, Probably soccer. I mean, I did used to play soccer, and I mean
Oh,
work, and I wrestling is like also like mostly about footwork. You need the footwork to be like.
okay, for sure. Landon, can you repeat that all over again? Because you're kind of getting cut off. So yeah, so basically most of your answer got cut off.
Oh,
Y- oh yeah. So can you
probably
repeat it?
soccer because okay, yeah. Soccer because I've already played soccer before. I think I'm pretty good at it. Um, and then it's all about footwork, and I wrestling's also all about like footwork.
Okay. All right. All right. Interesting. All right. So if you could meet any sports athlete, it could be wrestling, could be MMA, could be even basketball, or football. Who would it be and why?
Any what?
Any sports athlete. It could be wrestling, could be MMA, could be basketball, could be football. It could be anybody in the sports world. Who would it be and why?
Mm, Probably Jesse Mendes.
Okay. I
Like
might have.
any or no Ronaldo.
Okay, Cristiano Ronaldo. Okay, so why Ronaldo?
Um, well, like he's a top tier like soccer. He's
Oh,
but he's the best, in my opinion, like the best soccer player.
okay. So all right. So there's a debate in soccer. I don't know if you know it, but so do you think Ronaldo is better than Messi?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, there's a huge debate on that. It's gonna go on forever and ever. Okay. So Landon, so there's another question in the chat talking about your future, essentially in wrestling.
Are you looking forward to high school wrestling? Yeah, I'm looking forward to high school wrestling. Trying to be a four-time state champ.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, yeah, definitely high school wrestling, is definitely, another level compared to middle school. Landon, did you know that my math teacher in school is the wrestling coach for my school?
Oh, that's crazy. That's
I
cool.
kn I know that's so crazy, and I found that out, when he was wearing, the wrestling merch, and I was like, "Oh, he's a wrestling coach. All right, so he's cool then, he's gonna be a cool teacher. He's obviously not gonna be strict. Usually these coaches that are essentially teachers, they're cool. They're usually cool. They're not strict. They're not worried about assignments and stuff. They're just usually they're just worried about their sport, essentially, coaching their sport. They're not worried about academics and stuff. All right, so what are your favorite hobbies slash interests to do outside of wrestling?
Um, hmm, um, I like drawing. Uh, mm, it's like that's
Uh,
probably like it.
drawing? Okay.
Yeah.
Like what's your like favorite drawing to draw?
Mm, I don't really have like a favorite. I just draw anything if I'm bored.
Okay, I got you. All right, all right. All right, so last question, a rare question, I would, I think it's probably the first time I'm asked this question to an athlete. So, what's one fun fact about you most people don't know?
Hmm.
You got to really think about that one, because a lot of people may know you, but I feel like there's that one fact that people don't know about you. So, can you think of one or?
Mm, like really thinking here. I can't.
Yeah, you gotta, guys. By the way, he's thinking. We're not, stalling here. He's actually thinking about this question, guys. Just saying.
Like I love roller coasters. Like
Okay.
big roller coaster enthusiast or theme park enthusiast.
Okay. So, okay. So roller coasters. You like roller coasters?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. That's a fun fact right there. All right. All right, Landon. So that's it for the Q&A section. Some pretty good questions. The chat asked some very good questions. Some very good questions. Very good questions all around, guys. Chat and chat did a very good job with the Q&A, and also your answers was very good, Landon, to the Q&A. Very good job. All right, so now let's get into the guest favorite part of the show, which is the show and tell. So, all right, so before we get into your show and tell, for our podcast, we have a 100th episode coming up in about 13 episodes. In about, let's see, I don't know when that will happen, but we are 13 episodes away from our 100th episode, and we will showcase these overlays that we showed in the past that caught our eye. Me and Coach Tony caught our eye, and we're gonna showcase these on the podcast on episode 100. So basically, Landon, all I need you to do is basically I'm gonna show the picture, and basically you're gonna rate it on a scale from 1 to 5, just by looks. Okay.
Okay.
All right, let's go. All right, so let's start with our first guest. This is JD Duffy, who plays football. There's his picture. You know, a dark picture, but Landon. So, all right, so Landon. So, what would you rate this picture out of 5?
Out of 5, like a 3.5 out of 5. I mean, it's pretty cool. It's a little dark though.
Okay, so 3.5. Okay, okay. All right, so here's another guy. He actually shares he actually shares the first name with you, Landon, because guess what his name is?
Landon.
You know it. This is Landon Rodriguez. You know, Landon, they call him Lambo Landon. I'm gonna show you why in the next one. But this was his during his media day. By the way, Landon, that is real fire. That's not no AI, no, I don't
Yeah,
know
yeah.
what people put, but that's real fire. So what do you rate this out of 5?
Mm, probably like a 3.5 again.
Okay, why 3.5?
I mean, it's the pose. I mean, the fire's cool though. It's just the pose.
Okay, okay. Oh, by the way, that right there is his handle at Lamborghini Landon, and here's why. Lambo Landon, and yeah, so his nickname is Lambo, and there's him, and you got a Lambo right there representing him. So Landon, so how would you rate this photo from 1 to 5?
Mm, probably like a 3 out of 10.
A 3?
A 3 out of 5.
Three
It's
out of
like
five. Okay.
it's
Okay.
like
So why?
more stuff going on than like the actual photo of him.
Okay, so we got a tough critic. Okay, so Landon, so you're a tough critic. All right. So far we got a 3.5. We got another 3.5, and then we got a 3. Okay. All right. Hey, I don't blame you. Just rate it from you. You know what I mean? All right. So here's another one. That's Landon again. So how would you rate this one?
Mm, probably another like 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5.
I just think
Okay.
it's like really basic.
Okay. All right. All right. All right. So here's another guy. This is my co-host. This is my co-host guy, Camden Arsinski. He is from Florida. He plays basketball. This post was basically promoting that he made his middle school team as a fifth grader over there down there in Florida. So Landon, so how would you rate this photo out of 5?
Mm, probably like a 4.
Okay, a 4. So why a 4?
Well, I think it's like half him and then half the sport he does, and the ball is also cool. Like how he's spinning the ball.
Okay, so first 4 of the day. Okay, all right. All right. All right. So here's another person. This is Tate Medina. He plays football. He's a really aggressive defensive player from Texas. He has aspirations of playing college football one day over there in college. He's a middle schooler. He's a middle schooler, and he has aspiration of playing big time college football as he gets older. So here's his picture from his media day. So Landon, so how would you rate that out of 5?
Mm, probably another 4.
4. Okay, why a 4?
I mean, it's a nice photo. It's showcasing him, and then I like the lighting's cool too. It matches with his uniform too.
All right, all right. All right, so let's move on. So this is Remy Payne, one of our previous guests. He was actually our first athlete actor on this podcast, and my co-host, he took a long time to get this photo landed because this photo was from a video. So he basically tried to get it the right frame. He said it took a long time, but he ended up getting the right frame on it, and then that was the picture that he got. So Landon, so Landon, so how would you rate this out of 5?
Probably like a 3.5.
Okay, why 3.5?
I mean, it's like really blurry, and it's like it's just like I don't know. It's like basic, and it's like uh really blurry.
Okay, yeah, the reason why I'm laughing because there's a question in the comment section, kind of talking about your long-term goals.
Would you consider? I mean, I would, but it's a good team. They've had a rough year so far, though.
Okay. Yeah, the reason why I'm laughing, Landon, because during your long-term goals, you said that you wanted to go to Ohio State, and the reason
Y-
why I'm laughing because Ohio State and Michigan are big-time rivals. They're huge rivals. During their rivalry week during football at Ohio State's campus, they cross out every single M around the campus, even if it's outside. It could be as tall as the billboard. It could be as high as the tallest building or as low as the ground. They cross out every M in town for Michigan week over there in Columbus. Like that's how intense this rivalry is. So that's the reason why I'm laughing at the comment. Would you consider wrestling for Michigan? Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So that was your answer to your question. All right. So now let's get into your show and tell now. So those are gonna be on the 100th episode, and and let's see if one of your overlays might make it to the 100th episode. All right, Landon. So let's start with the first one here. All right, so give me a little story behind this one, a little bit of background. Where was this tournament, and basically, what were you doing in this photo?
This is at Tulsa Nationals or Kickoff Nationals. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, okay.
And and um, I was getting ready to pick my choice after a period, basically, and they got that photo.
Okay. All right, all right. All right, so let's move on to your next one. So here's some in-game in match pictures. All right, so tell me what was going through your mind during this moment here.
Um, I was like, I was trying to get to the leg in neutral. I don't exactly remember the context of this photo, but I was just trying to get to the leg.
Okay. How good was the fighter the wrestler that you were wrestling against?
Really good, like top level, like national level.
Oh wow. How did the match go?
I mean, it went okay. I ended up losing that one.
Okay. Everyone hates losing, but you know what they say. In order to win, you gotta lose. So, all right, all right. All right, so let's move on here. So, here's another picture, some in match picture. So, all right. So, give me a little context behind this one, Landon.
Um, we were like hand fighting. That was at middle school duels. It was like a duel tournament. Um, I ended up beating this kid. I remember. Yeah,
Okay. How good was the wrestler that you were wrestling against? Was he like top level? Was he, amateur
he was like amateur.
or amateur? Okay, okay. Hey, you gotta beat the people. You gotta beat the people that you gotta beat. You beat them. Hey, no matter what level, you win. You win. All right. So now let's get into another picture here. All right. So there's you getting your hand raised for the win. All right. So what was going through your mind during this picture here?
Uh, I mean, like I was happy to win, but I was just happy to get some points for the team because it was a duel, and like if you win, you get points for your team.
Okay, cool, cool. All right. All right, so let's move on. All right, so there's you. So, give me a little background behind this one.
Um, I don't remember how long ago that was. I think that was like 2 years ago. That was at like McDonough duels, and I had just won my match, and one of the coaches took a photo of me.
Okay, so on all right, so on your suit, and I see it says Glasgow. So what is Glasgow? And is that your team? Is that what is it?
It was my team. It was like it was in it's down by Stone Mountain in Georgia. Do you know where that is?
Stone Mountain. I think I've heard of it. I think I've heard of it. Stone Mountain. I think I've heard of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. That's cool. All right. All right, so let's move on. All right, so there's you again. All right, so give me a little context behind this. Like where was this and basically what were you doing in this picture?
I have no idea where that is, but I'm pretty sure like I'm either walking off after we finish the match or after a period.
Okay. You said something about period. So how does that work in wrestling? Like how does, that work in wrestling?
Like they're basically like how football has quarters.
Yeah.
It's like we have 3 periods, but they're a lot shorter. They're like a minute to like 2 minutes, depending on your age.
Gotcha. All right, all right. All right, so let's move on. So, all right, so there's you. I'm assuming this was during the placements, and I'm assuming you got number one there. So, all right, so give me a little background behind this one.
Well, that was at it's a tournament down in Tennessee. It's AAU Nationals. Um, that was I was in 5th grade and I was wrestling for I was wrestling in the middle school bracket and I ended up winning it.
Okay. By the way, Landon, that's my co-host right there, Coach Tony, live, live. Again from how do you say this? On the road. I'm gonna say that he's away from home there. So, Coach Tony, what's up, man?
What's up, man?
All right.
Don't let me in. Don't let me end your show and tell. I'm over here. Just finished my training. Um, Shout out to my man Kason. He's gonna do great things.
For sure, for sure. All right, for sure, for sure. Hopefully he's a future guest on this podcast and speak to him soon, hopefully. All right, all right. So let's get back to the show and tell. So there's you again on the mat. All right, so tell me what was going on in this picture.
That's another photo at middle school duels. That was last year. That's like it's a like plaque that you get for being an All American at the tournament.
Ooh, All American. All right, All American sounds, high level. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, all right, all right. So let's move on. All right, so there's you. I'm assuming again your hand raised there. So, all right, so tell me what was going on in this picture.
That was at the state finals. After I won, yeah, that was at the state finals.
State finals. Wow. Okay. State finals must be, big time, right?
I mean, kinda, yeah.
Kinda. What do you mean kinda? State finals, it sounds high up, and basketball sounds high up, football sounds high up, I'm assuming wrestling's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chisley 512. That's why I left the court. I'm
Yeah.
going somewhere where it's a little bit quieter.
Yeah, so little backstory between me and Coach Tony, me and Coach Tony live in South Florida, and I know exactly where he's at right now, and I'm glad he's getting away from that court. I'm glad he's doing that because
Yeah, it got live over. It gets live over here around 7 o'clock.
oh, I know.
That's when everybody comes out.
Oh, I know, and yeah, I know, and that's why I said I'm glad you moved away, cause I know how that place is. I know how that place is. I know the people there, and they say some stuff that we wouldn't like as our background. Basically, let's just say that. All right, Coach Tony. Meanwhile, you're okay. So in the meantime, while you're migrating, all right. So let's continue with our show and tell. All right. Coach Tony, can I mute you real quick?
I'm away from the court now.
Okay, okay, okay. All right, so here's another picture here. I'm assuming placements. All right, so Landon, so what was going? All right, so what happened in this picture?
That was at preseason nationals last year. I ended up getting third. In a very tough bracket.
Okay, so third in a very tough bracket. Okay, so I'm assuming it was third out of 8 people, or more people. Landon.
Oh, that's the 4-man bracket. Yeah, it was like 64 people.
64. Wow, three people out of 64. Hey, that's big time. Yeah, that's definitely big time. Your top three out of 64 people. That's huge. That's huge. So congratulations.
Thanks.
All right, last picture in the show and tell. So there's you again, and the Adidas Nationals. Adidas Nationals, and I'm assuming you were number 1 there. So, all right. So give me a little context to this one.
Again, it was a pretty tough bracket. But I ended up wrestling through and winning it. Pretty cool tournament.
Okay. So do you know where this tournament was or no?
Um, I don't remember.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
It,
Adidas
no, it was
Where's
in
where's
Missouri.
Where? Oh shoot. Okay, guys, technical difficulties on Landon's end. Hopefully he comes. Hopefully, when his service comes back, we'll bring him right back on the show. Right now, he's dealing with technical difficulties on this side. Coach Tony, what's up? I'm assuming you're the only
But
person.
I hope his phone or whatever he's on didn't die.
I'm hoping not, because if a phone dies, it kind of takes a long time for it to start again. So, guys, for all the audience watching in the chat, Landon's having some technical difficulties. Once he gets back in the studio, we will immediately put him back on the show and resume our show and tell. So he has technical difficulties on his side, and once his technical difficulties clear up, then we will bring him back on the show. All right,
All
Coach.
right, while we're waiting on that, what do you think about where is it? Did you delete my overlay on? Oh, here it is.
No. Okay, phone died. Okay.
What do you think about this?
Okay, yes, I've heard about a lot of the Clippers. Yeah, so Coach, yeah, so I don't know if you know Tony, but I talked about zero basketball, zero football, zero anything with that, and
I'd asked you, what is your thoughts on this, Carlo?
okay, Landon just got back on, but I'm gonna give you a quick take on this. But yeah, the Clippers, they're a mess. Kawhi's salary cap drama. They don't control their own pick until 2030. Oh shoot, that's like 5 years from now. They're 5-16, the 5th worst, and then now sending Chris Paul home. Yeah, Chris Paul's getting old, Tony. He's getting old, but and I heard about this on First Take, and they didn't mind about Chris Paul going home, but it was the way they did it. It wasn't necessarily like, how do you say it? It wasn't necessarily they did the decision, like they made the decision, but it was the way how they did it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Lakers didn't do Kobe that way, and they had a terrible year too his last year. They gave that man a farewell tour when he announced his retirement. He was a cornerstone for the Clippers. I thought I let him back in. He's not back in.
No, yeah, he came on for a second and then came out.
The Lakers didn't do that to Kobe his last year. They gave him a farewell tour. Before Chris Paul came there, the Clippers were the laughing stock of the NBA. He put the Clippers back on the map.
Like in 2013,
when he first joined, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Brought excitement back to the Clippers. It brought Lob City. They were the number 1 team in They were beating the Lakers for pretty much the whole time he was there the first time.
Wow. Yeah. 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 Definitely. When you say the Clippers, you definitely think of current, basically, of Chris Paul, Lob City with Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan, that squad with the Clippers, and you don't really know about the early history of the Clippers. You just know the Chris Pauls, the Blake Griffins, the DeAndre Jordans, those players that played during the Lob City era. The Clippers definitely a mess right now, and they're the fifth worst in the NBA. Sony, out of what, like 30 teams in the NBA, I believe. I think there's 30
Yeah, it's
teams.
30 teams.
They're
Well, you got to think, Carlos. This is the same team that worked out Kobe Bryant as a rookie. Loved what they saw
but passed up on it.
and still moved past them.
Well, that's insane. I don't know what has to get done. Maybe front office, because I don't know, front office. I don't know. I guess the front office is the only thing. You gotta. I don't know, but probably the front office clear house. I don't know. Do something. You gotta do something drastic. Desperate measures of desperate times call for desperate measures. And the Clippers, not doing the best right now. But speaking about the NBA, have you been seeing the Miami Heat, Tony?
Yeah, we know about your Miami Heat, Carlos.
Hey, how about the Heat? I don't know. They're just, I don't know. I feel like Eric Spoelstra just did something that just turned the switch. Like they changed up their offense basically. They changed up their offense into this fast motion offense that gets the team, you know, like their offense is like fast tempo. They're like a fast tempo motion team. Like they don't run plays. They don't run plays. They're just basically bringing up the ball, you know, look at you, backdoor cut. They they run the wheel basically. Their play is like a wheel. Basically a man drives, the guy from the ball side corner comes up, and basically it's like a wheel. Basically, it's like a wheel, essentially. And the Miami Heat, they are doing that at a very high level. They've been scoring 100-point
Carlos,
like.
put us back on the main screen.
Oh shoot, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, so definitely, that Miami Heat offense has been clicking. They've been winning games because of it. And that Heat, combined with the Heat offense, the Heat culture, and their defense, that team is a dangerous team, and they're number 4 in the East. That's just insane. Like Miami's a dangerous team. Like when it comes to postseason time, Miami's not a team that you should count out. Miami's not a
Not
team,
in not in the East.
not in the East, essentially. Like when we were talking earlier during the preseason, like before the NBA, and we were talking about, oh, the East is wide open. There could be many
Uh,
contenders like the Pistons, the Knicks, the Magic, the Pistons, Knicks, Magic, maybe Sixers, Cavs. We were talking about those teams maybe having a chance. But now, you got a team like Toronto, like the Raptors, who are number 3 in the East, and the Heat at 4. Boston, they're holding their ground a little bit. They're 5th in the East. They're holding their ground a little bit. And
and they're beating the snot out of the Lakers right now.
really, yeah, yeah, and I heard about that. They're playing the Lakers. All right, he's
Yeah, they're
back.
beating.
Oh, hello.
Hey, he's back. What's up, champ?
All right, what's up? Sorry, my phone died.
I kind of figured that. Mom and dad to the rescue. Hi, mom and dad. He come in here and wave and say hi. Now he just put you on.
All right.
All right. All right. Did you show his medals and everything yet, Carlos?
I asked him if he had any accolades or anything. And Landon said,
Yeah, I currently don't have any like medals
yeah.
like right now.
All right, we gonna get some. We gonna get some.
No,
We
like I
gonna.
have a lot, but I just finished my wrestling practice before this, so I'm not in my house.
Oh, you don't have them with you.
Yeah.
Okay. All
All
right.
right.
Okay. There's a picture.
Oh, there they are. All right. Which one is your favorite?
Um. Probably all my Tulsa placement ones. There were Tulsa national placement ones or kickoff placement ones.
All
So
right.
yeah.
All right. All right. I like that. I like that.
All right.
All
So
right.
now. All right. So
You
now let's
ready to
get.
show them your video? You ready to show your videos, Landon?
Yeah.
All right. So now let's get to the second part of our show and tell, which is the videos. Okay. So Landon. So the same thing what we did with the pictures for the 100th episode. Now I'm gonna show the videos. We have some videos that we're gonna showcase here. Um, we're gonna show the first one. So basically the same thing as the photos, just rate it 1 out of 5, according to your liking. All right. All right. So now let's play this first picture, which is a minute 12 long. So let's.
We're only gonna play the first part.
All right. I heard Coach. I heard Coach Tony. Right before we play that clip, just play the first clip. That was the first clip. Landon. So how would you rate that out of 5?
Probably like a 4 out of 5.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So why 4 out of 5?
I like the play, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's move on to another basketball player from Florida, CJ. CJ. It's on mute. So he hits his Euro step move, Landon. Um, off balance basically, and he makes the shot. So how would you rate that out of 5?
Uh, Probably like a 4.5. That was pretty cool.
4.5. Okay. All right. Yeah. By the way, Coach Tony, Landon was being a tough critic with some of these pictures. He was giving most of them 3s, 3.5s, but now I'm seeing during these videos, the first one got a 4, this one got a 4.5. Okay. So these videos must be really impressing you.
He's a man of action. He's a wrestler. He's a man of action. You got to show him.
All right, all right. All right, so let's move on to this one. This was a game winner by my brother, Christian Rios. This is 6 seconds long, so tune in. Yep, 6 seconds long, and that was a game winner he hit there, Landon. 1 foot and in the basket. So how would you rate that out of 5?
Probably 4. It's pretty nice.
Okay, 4. Okay. All right, so now let's move on to soccer. So, all right, so let's switch gears to soccer. 5 seconds long. It's a quick clip, Landon. It's a quick clip. Here's soccer. Kaysen Velez. Here it is.
Yes, Casey!
He basically there, Landon. He hit a header into the goal, which is something hard to do in soccer, and he executed perfectly. So, how would you rate that out of 5?
Probably another 4. Pretty nice.
All right, all right. All right, so let's move on to another video. This is basketball. This is another basketball player, Jordan Stevens from Florida. All right.
Oh, good D, baby! Oh! Oh, let's go!
360 layup. Landon, how would you rate that out of 5?
Probably like another 4. Everything's getting 4s.
Yeah, he's just giving 4s everywhere. Every video, 4, 4, 4. Okay, so here's another video. This is an OG video, has been here for the longest. It's the longest video on here, and it's a very good layup. It's a very good basketball play here. So 6 seconds long, Landon. What are your thoughts on that, Landon? Out of 5.
That was pretty cool.
So how
Probably a 4.5.
4.5.
Hmm.
Okay, 4.5. Okay, a lot of 4s, a lot of 4.5s, and I think the lowest one was a 4. So okay, all
I like
right.
this. I like his judging, man. I like his judging. I'm gonna have to bring him back on the 100th episode to be a judge. I think we need to. We need some tough judges, man. I like that, Landon. Good job, man. You don't just throw away 5s, all willy nilly.
For sure, for
Either
sure.
maybe one of these videos from his matches, maybe it'll deserve a 5.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely some opportunities here, and we'll see if one of these videos catches our eye. So here's the first video, 9 seconds long. It's on mute. So Landon, if you want to commentate through this, you may.
Okay.
Ooh.
All right, Landon. So tell me what was going on there during that video.
He was like trying to charge at me, and I used this momentum, and I hit. It's called a fireman's carry. So, I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. All right. So here's the next.
Real
Yeah.
quick before he bring up, then
Yeah.
did Carlos tell you that we make history on the Be Ready Sports podcast, Landon?
No.
I think I did.
He didn't
But
tell you that you made history.
Oh, I'm the first wrestler.
Yeah, you the first wrestler we done had on the podcast. So how that make you feel, man? To be the very, very, very. We've interviewed 83 athletes, including you, and you are the very first wrestler. So how does that make you feel, bro?
I guess that's pretty cool. It's pretty
You
cool.
guess, man. That's freaking awesome. Freaking awesome, man. That's freaking awesome, man. Out of all the wrestlers in the world, we chose you to be the first. That should tell you something about yourself. Should be proud of that, Landon.
Thank you.
yeah, you should.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to this 28-second video. So it's gonna be longer than this first one. So
Come on, Carlos.
here it is. All right. It's another mute. So Landon, if you want to commentate through this, you may. All right. So Landon, were you in the black or the gray?
I'm in the black there.
Black. Okay. Yeah. You're definitely dominating here. Oh,
Yeah.
submit.
Yeah, he doesn't play with his food.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3. Lights out.
He doesn't play with his food. Look. He already know. Yeah. Let's get up. Let's get back in the circle. Let me hurry up and get this pin real quick. I'm not playing around today.
Danny Williams said he's so chilled and humble.
You can see the comments, right, Landon? You can see the comments.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can. Yeah. He said earlier during the show that one of the things he learned from wrestling is being humble. So hey, doing a good job. Hey.
Well, when you're great and you're pinning people left and right, and it's easy to be humble. Just walk around like. But when you get in that circle and it's time to go, he's gonna get the job done and go home. That's why he's the first wrestler on the show.
Yeah.
Salute to you, Landon. All right, what are your thoughts on tell us a little bit about that tournament, the match, and everything from that last video.
It was a good tournament. That was another Tulsa Nationals clip. I ended up placing 5th, and that was a pretty good match. That was a good match for me.
Okay.
All right. All right. So let's get.
I think we have one more, right, Carlos? We got one more.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. 22 seconds long, so a little bit shorter than the second one, but Let's play it.
Flip over! Flip over! Let's go, baby! Arc! Let's go! Yes! Yes! Let's go! Yes! Let's go! Yeah! Let's go! Yeah! There we go!
Okay, so Landon, were you? I'm assuming you were in the red, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely kept pinning him down. You know, he tried to get up, but you kept on pinning him down, and I'm assuming you won that, right?
Yeah.
For sure. So, all right. So, where was this tournament, and basically, you know, what was going through your mind during that whole sequence?
I don't remember where the tournament was, but um, I was just trying to get the pin.
Trying to get the pin. All
That's
right. For sure. For sure. All right. So, all right. So that's it for the show and tell, Tony. Coach Tony.
Well, one thing that you need to, one thing about Mr. Landon here, of course, we can't show this on the Be Ready Sports podcast, but if you look at his Instagram, if you check out my man's physique, you'll think he was John Cena in his prime. That's how ripped he is. So that's why he's able to. That's why he was able to, you know, keep his opponent on the mat. My man is ridiculously strong. So
Thanks.
you gotta let them know, Landon. Like our audience is not familiar with the wrestling scene. So um, you gotta let them know how hard is your training and conditioning to get your body toned in that way where you can maneuver your opponents like that, because it's not easy.
Oh yeah, no, it's not easy at all. It's really hard. I've gotten used to it more over time though, but it's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I know Carlos asked you about your workout, your training / workout schedule earlier.
Yeah.
But like give the audience a rundown of how intense your workouts have to be for you to be at your age to be to have a physique like that where you're because you're I can't we can't show them on the Be Ready Sports podcast. We'll get shut down. But just let them but just give them a quick little snippet of how hard you work out and train to get that strong.
It's pretty intense. Like the practices, like nonstop, like intense wrestling. Like
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 meaning you're like, oh my goodness, man, this I'm about to puke. Ugh. And one meaning like this workout is so easy. I can do it in my sleep. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate your how the intensity of your training?
probably like a 7, 7 to
7.
8. Yeah, probably like an 8.
All right. And your wrestling and BJJ, you guys are very, very similar, but you are 100% different. Even though they look the same, it's 100% different. So,
Yeah.
can you give the audience a of like wrestling is a lot harder than BJJ, by the way, to let y'all know, because it's it's mainly well. I'll let Landon explain. But tell me the what's the biggest difference between wrestling and BJJ and why it's more difficult. You know what
Um,
BJJ is, right? That's jiu-jitsu.
yeah.
That's the martial arts. Okay.
Like I can't really like explain it because uh I don't really know like
Well,
like people.
BJJ, they're in the ring similar to yours, um, but they mainly get points for punches, kicks, and submissions. Yours is all leverage. You know, you're trying to score pins. You're trying to force them out the circle and things of that nature. Like getting leverage like that is very 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 difficult. But you got two questions in the chat. I'll let you answer them before we get to the last part of the show.
Okay. How many push-ups do you do? Like in a row, probably like uh 100, I'd say. And then the second one, who do I wrestle for now? I currently wrestle for Backyard Brawlers. It's a team down in Social Circle in Georgia.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Last thing that we're last part of the show, and then because you're an amazing guest, Carlos is loving in interviewing you, and the little part of the show that I came in, man, you're an awesome guest. I love your interaction. I love interviewing you too, and I love your humbleness, man. I love your humbleness. But last part. Oh, you got one more question.
How's the coaching? The coaching it's great. It's good coaching.
So if we can put you in a crystal ball and give you one wish of who any wrestler, any fighter in the world that you could wrestle right now, and y'all be matched up equally, and so anybody, who would it be, and how quick you think you could pin them?
Hmm. Oh, that's a good question. Um. Hmm. Have to think for this one.
You know who I would love you see throw a toss around that ring and pin him?
Who?
And they talking about he's a great wrestler, John Cena. I want to see you mop the floor with Mr. Hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Oh wow. Well, the time frame, well,
Danny said you'll beat him in 30 seconds.
30 seconds.
Remember, you guys will be equal. It won't be him wrestling you at 12. You guys will be equal size, equal weight.
Oh, equal everything.
Yeah.
You'll be
Okay.
equal everything.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a chance there. Okay. All right, all right. Okay, so that's that for the show and tell. Coach Tony gave his thoughts about you. Landon, you've been a good guest. Learned a lot about wrestling today. Real wrestling, not fake wrestling with WWE. But hey, it's a very good show. Very good show, very good show and tell, very good everything, and just keep on going, Landon. All right.
All right.
And keep chasing those goals of going to Ohio State. Yeah, Coach Tony. One of his goals, Landon, in college is go to Ohio State because he says Ohio State has a great wrestling program.
Oh, Buckeye. Yeah. My man got good taste.
Give Michigan a chance. Oh, I don't think Landon knows the rivalry of Ohio State and Michigan.
If he wants to go to Ohio State, he's not giving Michigan a chance.
Go blue. Oh my.
Tell him, Landon, like, nah, bro. Say, boo, thumbs down. Tell him it's Ohio State all day.
Oh.
Yeah, tell him. Say Ohio State all day. Say, don't play with me.
Don't worry.
All right, Landon. Before we let you go, give as many shout outs as you want to all the lovely people that in your life and your team that has helped you get to where you are and helping you along your journey. And tell us about some what you have upcoming as far as tournaments or events that you have.
Um, uh,
Mom and dad could help you if you get stuck.
uh, I want to give a shout out to my current coach right now, Danny Gatt, the coach of Backyard Brawlers. My personal trainer at the gym, Coach Omar over there at the gym. Um, give a shout out to my coach, like my older coach, Antoine Glasgow over there at Glasgow, and apparently shout out to my friend over here, Ryder Gat.
Put him on. Give him his 15 seconds of fame. Put him on the pod.
What's up?
What's up? Hey, keep it up to your head, man. Look like you don't got on no shirt. Keep it up to your head.
There you go.
Hey, tell our audience what's up. Tell them your name and how you met this dude, Landon.
My name Ryder Gat. I wrestle for Backyard Brawlers.
Oh, so have you wrestled Landon yet?
No.
All right, this is what we're gonna do. Get him on the mat, and then let us know how that match goes. I think you can take him. It's not going to be easy though. That dude's strong as all outdoors, but I think you can take him.
His hair will cover up the mat.
Oh my gosh,
Wow.
we're not trolling him now. We're not trolling him now. He gonna get a shampoo commercial because he got that Troy Polamalu here. You have a quick question for Landon?
No.
No. What a great friend you are. All right. And tell everybody where they can find you on social media, your websites, if you got Twitter, what all that other stuff that they got, your website, how can they find you to follow you?
They can find my Instagram account. I think at L Walker 918. That's about it though.
You must be from Tulsa. That's a Tulsa area code. What else? What else? Oh, I got one quick question. You see that guy on the top of the screen, Carlos Rios?
Yeah.
If you guys lined up in a wrestling match, how long do you think it'd take you to beat him?
Hmm. Like 10 seconds probably.
10.
Oh my God, you're gonna do my man like that? 10 seconds.
Heck nah.
Oh my goodness. I know you'll beat me in two, because I'll run.
Yeah. Hey, you can run, but you can't hide.
Hey, I'm not locking up with Landon, man. I ain't locking up with Landon. He'll snap both my arms in half.
Hey man, that's his sport.
Yeah, shout out to your mom and dad for letting you on the podcast. And Carlos,
Yeah.
give Landon your while we're live, and so our audience can hear. Give Landon your thoughts on the show and tell and the Q&A, the whole interview. What are your thoughts on Landon?
And I thought the Q&A was good. The Q&A was very good. I asked some questions actually, Tony, that, I kind of switched it up a little bit, and if you watch it back, I actually asked some questions that, that I don't usually, I kind of switched it up a little bit. So I kind of switched it up a little
Okay,
bit.
you switched it up.
Very unique other in the Q&A. Show and tell has been, great. The photos, Landon's definitely, a tough critic in the photos. Most of them were threes, 3.5s. But yeah, but definitely the photos, the photos were very good, and then the videos obviously showing evidence of why he's here, and definitely a great show and all. The Q&A plus the photo show and tell plus the video equals a great show. So Landon, keep on going, and then keep on chasing those dreams of one day going to your dream wrestling school, Ohio State.
All right.
Yeah, and then
Thank
we
you.
want to see you mop the floor with John Cena.
That too.
All right, Landon. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna do the show wrap up in a second when we get when we end the live. Okay.
All right.
All right. So, Carlos,
Yes.
let's give everybody the spiel.
Okay. All right. Like, share, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's where we are live right now on YouTube. You can like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you get notified of when we go live. Scrolling down at the ticker should be coming up right about a few seconds now at Be Ready Sports Podcast on Instagram. That's where we post our sports news, podcast clips, anything related with the podcast or just sports news in general. That's where we'll post on the Instagram account. That's where you can see us on Instagram, YouTube, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon. All right. You could donate to Zelle, not Cash App, 954-664-8962. All proceeds go towards the show to make our show better, from episode 1 to episode 87. There's been a huge upgrade. There's been a huge upgrade. And, we've had a huge upgrade. So to come on go with the upgrades, just donate to Zelle, 954-664-8962. All right, here is Theron West II from California, football player. This is his clothing line, silentfear.online. That is his clothing line. That's his, his little business that he's he's doing off the field. You can support his clothing line, silentfear.online. Pickup Portal. We interviewed him back in August.
All
Basically,
right, he's gonna be on here real soon. I think on the 17th of January. It's coming up. Less than
yes,
a month.
yes.
Oh no,
So he
it's a month.
So he came in August to basically introduce his business, and then just like what Coach Tony said, he will come back in January to basically give an update about his business and basically tell the audience what his upgrades to this business are. So basically the Pickup Portal land is basically just a coach, if a coach needs a player for the weekend, he's down a few players because they're sick or out of town, the player can just go in the Pickup Portal, pick up some players that are near the area, and boom, just like that, he can replace those players from the portal. And also, if you're a player as well, if you're a player that wants to play for the weekend, you can put yourself in the portal, and then that's where you can connect with a coach that needs players, and then boom, 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 just like that. He first introduced his business to baseball, but now in January, I heard he's doing, basketball, football, soccer. He's going to target most of our audience, and most of our guests are basketball, football, soccer. So this is going to be huge in our community, throughout our guests. So Pickup Portal. We'll be back. When, Coach Sony? When will Pickup Portal be back?
In January, I think January 17th. I don't have the calendar in front of me.
Okay, so sometime in January. All right. Shout out to Kaysen Velez. Landon and the soccer goal with the header. That was Kaysen. This is his YouTube channel at CV7 Rocket. You can subscribe to his YouTube channel. Subscribe to Remy Payne. That was a picture with the helmet. Landon,
And our first actor we had on here too.
yeah, and I also mentioned that as well throughout his picture at Remy Game Football 5250 on YouTube. You can subscribe to his channel. All right, without further ado, all right, I'm gonna count us out. All right, stay for the wrap up, Landon. All right,
All right.
3, 2, 1.
All right, Landon, to be ready
Stay ready.
and be ready for us tomorrow. We're gonna have another set of brothers on here. We're gonna pivot from wrestling to BJJ. Yeah, today it's Combat Sports Weekend.
All
And we out, y'all.
Peace.